If you suffer from nerve pain, urgent news.
A leaked study from Stanford University proved a hidden secret in the red pepper seed that specialists around the world are calling the neural fountain of youth. This is because for the first time in years, thousands of people are managing to recover normal sensitivity and live pain-free without taking gabapentin, pregabalin, or any other medications that in the end only mask the symptoms of neuropathy. Instead, this red pepper seed trick attacks the true villain, causing neuropathy. A toxic plaque that suffocates the nerves, blocks neural communications, and destroys your nerve endings. When this happens, your body sends warning signals such as numbness in the extremities, shooting pains, constant tingling, and most importantly, progressive loss of sensitivity that can be irreversible, even while you take medications and follow all your doctor's advice. But the good news is that we've invited one of America's leading specialists to tell you everything you need to know from now on to reverse neuropathy. Additionally, he will also reveal secrets such as the curious link between habits considered healthy and a toxic plaque that suffocates the nerves and is scientifically proven to be the true cause of neuropathy. Why taking strong painkillers and anti-inflammatories can worsen your condition and cause permanent damage to your nerves. The innocent two-question test to discover if you're being a victim of this toxic plaque that silently destroys your nerves. And finally, the hidden secret in the red pepper seed that can dissolve this plaque and regenerate your nerves naturally in just a few weeks. This is Monica Mueller, host of Health Breakthroughs. And today we have the extraordinary privilege of speaking with one of the world's leading authorities on neuropathy, a true pioneer who revolutionized our understanding of nerve pain. Health specialist Michael Benet graduated from the prestigious Johns Hopkins University, where he completed his specialization in neurology, followed by a postdoctorate in pain medicine from Harvard Medical School. His groundbreaking research on neuropathic pain caught the attention of major institutions worldwide. During his 15 years as director of the Neuropathic Pain Research Center, Mr. Benet's revolutionary approach to treating neuropathy made him one of the most sought-after specialists in nerve pain treatment across the Americas. His bestseller Nerve Freedom dominated the Amazon charts, and his military experience as Chief Medical Officer of the Special Forces Pain Medical Division led him to treat hundreds of veterans suffering from severe neuropathic pain. But what truly crowned his career was the discovery of the revolutionary night tonic using red pepper skin, which has already helped over 42,000 people free themselves from neuropathic pain. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with immense honor and enthusiasm that we welcome the man recently recognized by Time Magazine as one of 2023's most influential scientists in healthcare. Mr. Benet, we're so happy you took time from your busy schedule to share your revolutionary discoveries with us today.
Thank you, Monica. The honor is truly mine. I'm here today with a mission that could change your life forever, to unravel the myths surrounding neuropathy once and for all. Myths that keep millions of people suffering unnecessarily. So, in the next few minutes, I'm going to demonstrate with irrefutable scientific evidence from over 240 studies published by institutions like Harvard, Oxford, and Johns Hopkins Institute that neuropathy can be reversed naturally without expensive medications or invasive treatments. This method is so effective that it works for any type of neuropathy, whether it's peripheral, proximal, focal, diabetic, or any other type. I'll also share inspiring cases of my patients, real people just like you, who completely freed themselves from neuropathic pain using this protocol. But that's not all. What I'm about to reveal today will likely challenge everything you've ever heard about neuropathy. And that's why this interview will be censored soon. So, if you or a loved one is struggling with neuropathy, if you're tired of waking up every night with hellish pain, if you're frustrated with constant tingling and loss of sensation, if you're sick of the endless cycle of painkillers that seem to get stronger year after year, I ask that you pay very close attention to every word I'm about to say. This could be the turning point in your life, the moment when everything changes for the better. But that's not all. I'm about to reveal a 15-second nighttime ritual involving a specific compound from red pepper seeds found in a rare Greek plant from the islands of Icaria that targets the root cause of neuropathy at the cellular level. Furthermore, I'm going to risk my medical license by exposing the dark side of the $327 billion pharmaceutical industry, an industry that profits from perpetuating the myth that neuropathy is incurable and that lifelong medication costing an average of $16,752 per year is the only option. But the truth is that this is a big lie. that has kept millions of people in the grip of this condition, robbing them of mobility, independence, and peace of mind. See, the information I'm about to share probably goes against everything you've ever heard about neuropathy. It challenges common knowledge in such a dramatic way that I've already received cease and desist letters from 2 major pharmaceutical companies. That's why this interview will be censored soon. So you need to watch this interview now and not put it off, because I don't know how long it will remain available. Oh, and before I forget, people who stay until the end will receive a surprise gift that I've only given twice in my office in the last 11 years.
That's a bold statement, and I'm sure our viewers are curious to know more. But before you explain, I'd like to know more about your motivations for seeking alternative treatments for neuropathy. What led you to this?
Well, Monica, until recently, I recommended the same treatments to my patients as my professional colleagues. The usual medications like Tylenol, duloxetine, pregabalin, and of course, those basic recommendations like exercise, diet changes, and all of those things that people with nerve pain are tired of hearing. And Monica, traditional treatment works at first, but after a while, the medications stop being effective. Side effects start to appear. And many patients come to me frightened, saying that they're losing hope. The truth is that many blame themselves and wonder what they did wrong to deserve all this. And they don't understand why. Even following treatments and taking more and more medications, they continue to suffer so much with the pain. This started to affect me. After all, as a neuropathy specialist, seeing my patients sad, insecure, and afraid of the future, it was heartbreaking. Until one day, my wife Linda, the most important person in my life, came to me complaining that she was feeling strange tingling in her feet. At first, she just shook her feet during dinner, tried to shake off that annoying tingling, but what no one imagined was that this was just the beginning.
How did the situation evolve after that?
Then came her hands. And quickly she started complaining about shocks, burning sensations, and even some stabbing pains, as if needles were pricking her body. And you know what's sadder, Monica? Linda was always a strong warrior woman. She always led the pack during park walks, and everyone asked what was the secret of that grandma who had more energy than her own grandchildren. The neighbors always commented, how can she be 60 and look like she's only 45? Every Sunday was the same thing. She's running, she's laughing, playing tag with the grandkids, while other grandmas kept wondering about her secret to having so much energy.
And how was it to see this transformation happening to someone so active?
The pain got worse very quickly, Monica. And the same woman who loved making our Sunday cake now could barely hold a wooden spoon. The grandkids asked her, every week, Grandma, where's that delicious cake that only you know how to make? It was a very difficult time. As usual, I prescribed the traditional medications and continued monitoring her condition. She did everything right, followed all recommendations to the letter, cut out various foods, completely changed her routine, but even so, her condition seemed to get worse until it got to a point where she couldn't even go to the supermarket. The burning sensation and tingling started attacking her feet. Even to sleep, she tossed and turned in bed and woke up in the middle of the night with her feet and arms tingling in pain, as if they were on fire.
Wow, I can't imagine how difficult it must have been for you as a professional and especially as a husband, right?
Yeah, the truth is that my wife, who was once full of life and always radiated happiness wherever she went, was gradually losing her spark and her love for life. So with a heavy heart, I increased the medication dosages and started prescribing one after another. She ended up taking 5 pills a day. 5 pills a day. But besides losing effectiveness over time, the side effects were worse than the benefits. Linda started having dizziness, nausea, and even fainting spells. And after trying more than 8 different medications without success, I had to turn to other solutions. Look, we tried everything you can imagine. Books about neuropathy, exercise programs, even alternative therapies. We tried everything from acupuncture to exotic ointments. But although some of these solutions provide temporary relief, none of them came close to solving Linda's problem. And with each failed attempt, hope disappeared and fear took over our thoughts.
Wow. It must be devastating to see someone you love struggling with this pain and the situation only getting worse.
Look, I'm not going to lie. It felt like I was in a maze with no way out. And nothing I did was leading us in the right direction. Then, one day, my daughter called me crying from the hospital saying that Linda had fainted in the kitchen. Thank God it was just a scare. But she told me that while we were at the hospital, Linda simply broke down and said she couldn't take this life anymore. That she was tired of being a worry for us, that she felt like a burden, that she was heartbroken because she could no longer enjoy life's simple pleasures, especially with family. And then she said something that broke my heart, Monica. She said, "Last week, our little granddaughter Emily spent the whole afternoon wanting me to make those special cookies with her. She was so excited. But I could barely hold the cookie cutter." The look of disappointment on her face, I'll never forget it. I'm afraid that's how we'll remember me, as the grandmother who always says no, who could never join in on the fun.
It's really heartbreaking to see people losing not just their health, but their ability to enjoy life's simple pleasures, isn't it? Especially when it affects relationships with loved ones. But in a way, this personal experience with your wife motivated you to find a natural solution, didn't it? Could you tell us more about how you discovered the root cause of neuropathy? And of course, how did you find a way to help people regain their freedom to enjoy precious moments with their families?
That's right, Monica. It was my love for my wife, Linda, that motivated me to seek a real solution and fight against this corrupt pharmaceutical industry that's making people increasingly sick and dependent. For those of you watching at home, pay very close attention now, because the pharmaceutical industry will do everything to keep the information I'm about to reveal secret. They've silenced me many times before. But today, I'm here live to expose all the dirty secrets of this medication mafia and to show that yes, there is a natural and definitive solution for neuropathic pain that's being hidden from the public. So let's begin. You know, Monica, throughout my career as a neurologist, I was always told that neuropathy was caused by age, diabetes, or poor circulation. And I believed that for years, until I discovered something scientists call neural regeneration.
Neural regeneration. That sounds quite complex. Could you explain it to our viewers in a way that everyone can understand?
Let me explain it simply. Our nerves are like electrical wires that connect the brain to the rest of the body. They're what allow us to feel heat, cold, touch, and even move. And just like electrical wires need protection, our nerves also need special protection called the myelin sheath. It's as if our nerves were electrical wires and the myelin sheath was the plastic protecting these wires.
What an interesting comparison. And what happens when this protection isn't working properly? I imagine it's like an exposed wire, isn't it?
Exactly, Monica. It's exactly like an exposed wire. Without this myelin sheath protection, numbness, tingling, and pain appear, and your quality of life simply plummets.
Wow. Okay, so now I'm starting to understand, but tell me something. Shouldn't our body have some natural system to prevent this problem, some way to protect itself?
Actually, our body is extremely intelligent. It has a natural nerve protection mechanism, which is precisely neural regeneration. It works like this. Whenever our nerves begin to suffer any damage, our body activates a repair and protection system. It literally fixes our nerves and keeps the myelin sheath functioning. When we're young, this protection system works at rocket speed. Yeah. That's why even if something starts to damage your nerves, your body quickly repairs everything. That's why you rarely see young people with nerve problems.
That is so fascinating. Why then do so many people still suffer from neuropathy? What happens to this protection system over time?
That's where the problem lies, Monica. As we age, something terrible starts to happen. The protection system begins to fail. And it goes from being a fast rocket to a very slow turtle. Without this proper protection, the nerves are exposed 24 hours a day. And in no time, they begin to suffer damage. It's like your brain is trying to watch your favorite show, but instead of a crystal clear HD image, all you see is that static-filled screen distorting every scene.
Okay, Michael, this explanation is really, really clear. You also mentioned a revolutionary discovery that changed everything we knew about neuropathy. What exactly did scientists discover?
Well, look, Monica, until recently, nobody knew why neural renewal slowed down, and much less what to do to get it back to normal. Until, in 2023, an accidental discovery changed everything we knew about neuropathy.
Accidental discovery. Okay, that reminds me of so many other great medical discoveries. How did it happen?
Dr. Helen Lasara from Mount Sinai Hospital was studying something fascinating. Cases of twin siblings where one suffered from neuropathy and the other didn't. All this with a single question in mind. If twin siblings have the same genetics, diet, and DNA, why did one develop type 2 neuropathy and the other didn't? Dr. Helen and her team spent 9 months researching this. In their minds, if they could discover what makes one twin develop neuropathy while the other one remains healthy, they would finally find a definitive answer for the prevention and management of peripheral pain. That's why she coordinated a study with over 6 6,000 twins divided into two groups. Group A was composed of siblings diagnosed with some type of neuropathy and nerve pain, and Group B of siblings who were 100% healthy with no nerve problems.
What an interesting study. And what did this research reveal? What was the big discovery?
After analyzing microscopic images of these patients' nerves, Dr. Vlasara noticed something surprising. The only difference between them was that the Group A participants who suffered from the disease were clogged with a toxic plaque called ages, while the group that felt no symptoms had very low levels of this toxic plaque.
Wait a moment, Professor. Are you telling me it's not age, not genetics, nor any of these factors we've always heard about? It's this toxic plaque that's causing the whole problem?
Exactly, Monica. That's when science proved that what really causes neuropathy, whether peripheral, proximal, focal, or even diabetic, isn't genetics, diet, family history, low temperature, alcohol, or anything like that. In fact, the only reason why people suffer from this is because of this toxic plaque that's suffocating their nerves, making them old and weak and unable to regenerate in time.
Wow, this is really revolutionary. Okay, help me understand better. How exactly do these plaques affect our nerves? How do they cause so much damage?
Well, for people at home to better understand, I'll use a very common example: cholesterol. Right? You see, this toxic plaque acts exactly like cholesterol in the arteries. You know, just like our veins need to be free for blood to circulate, our nerves need to be free to transmit the body's electrical signals. When these toxic plaques start to accumulate, it's as if our nerves were being strangled from the inside. Once this toxic plaque settles into the nerve wall, they start to be squeezed like a balloon being crushed. And when these nerves finally give in to the pressure and burst inside, they become exposed and vulnerable like a worn electrical wire.
This comparison with cholesterol is very enlightening, but something's intriguing me. Where do these toxic plaques come from? Where? How do they form in your body?
This is the most shocking part, Monica. These days, we're constantly being bombarded by toxins. We eat chemical preservatives and pesticides every day in our food. We breathe toxic and contaminated oxygen, and even the water we drink contains pollution residues. In other words, with every meal we have, with every sip of tap water, every time we breathe the polluted city air, our nerves are attacked by these silent toxins.
That's really scary, Michael. You know, our modern lifestyle is contributing to this problem. That's pretty much what you're saying. So why can't our body defend itself against these toxins?
That's the right question. The problem is that our body can no longer eliminate these toxic plaques at the same speed for a very simple reason. Our natural defense system was designed for a very different world than today's. 100 years ago, there wasn't so much food processing, pollution, and stress. Today, our body simply can't eliminate toxins at the same speed they enter.
Well, I'm sure many people watching now are worried. What are the real risks if we don't treat this problem? What can happen if these plaques continue to accumulate?
According to data from the U.S. National Institute of Health, 78% of people only notice the problem when they've already lost 40% of nerve function. And if nothing is done, if this toxic plaque continues to grow and destroy your nerves, you could end up completely losing movement. So first, a cane for support, then a wheelchair to move around, and in the most severe cases, when the nerves completely die, the affected limb needs to be amputated. Just as more than 20 million Americans suffer every day, according to the latest CDC survey in 2024.
Wow, so this is really serious. And I'm sure many people at home must be wondering, how do they know if they're already being affected by these toxic plaques? Is there any way to identify this?
It's very simple, Monica. Just do a test now. Touch your fingertips. Can you feel the shock sensation or a slight numbness? If you didn't feel any of this, you can close this presentation right now. But probably you felt some of these symptoms, didn't you? This is what happens when toxic plaques begin to suffocate your nerves. And contrary to what many pseudo-specialists say, it has nothing to do with advanced age or being an unsolvable problem. After all, how many pain medications have you already taken? How many different ointments have you applied that relieved for a few hours, but then the pain came back even stronger? If the problem was just age-related, as these doctors say, you would have to accept living like this forever, right? It's not your age, it's not your body, it's not lack of medication, and much less a lack of treatment. The real culprit for your pain is this toxic plaque that's suffocating your nerves at this exact moment and suffocating your nerve cells while you sleep.
Professor, this discovery really changes everything we thought about neuropathy. Was this what led you to seek a new form of treatment? How did this discovery impact your medical practice?
After I discovered this, I finally understood what was really happening with my wife and with my thousands of patients who had suffered from this disease for so long. At that moment, I only had one question. How could I dissolve the toxic plaque that was suffocating the nerves and reverse the neuropathic pain of thousands of people? So I started spending night after night studying and looking for a solution. I was almost giving up, but I had come so far, and most importantly, my wife needed me. That's when I came across something fascinating. A 2023 study published in the prestigious Nature Medicine journal about a unique place in the world, the island of Ikaria in Greece.
Ikaria. What's so special about this island?
Monica, Ikaria is known as the island where people forget to die. It's one of the only places in the world where people regularly live beyond 90 years with a sharp mind and a youthful energy. But what caught scientists' attention even more was something even more impressive. On the island of Ikaria, the word neuropathy simply doesn't exist in the local vocabulary. Less than 1% of the population suffers from nerve problems. That's when scientists discovered something revolutionary. A specific protein found in red pepper skin called capsaicin. But more important than that, according to the research, one of the richest natural sources of capsaicin is a plant native to Ikaria called Corydalis yanhusuo, which has 8 times more capsaicin concentration than any other natural component. In fact, Corydalis yanhusuo is a medicinal plant that has been used for centuries by the inhabitants of Ikaria. This simple natural herb is considered so potent in local culture that it's often called Greek pregabalin or prostateptico, which means the protector. And it's widely used in treating chronic pain, inflammation, and nerve problems. But nobody ever knew exactly why it worked so well in pain relief. So the scientists did the following. They developed a special formula to extract capsaicin from this powerful Icarian plant. Then, with the extract in hand, they gathered 1,780 neuropathy patients with a single goal: to investigate the effects of concentrated capsaicin extract in dissolving toxic plaques and observe how this would affect the participants' nerves. So there were people newly diagnosed with neuropathy, people who had been suffering from the disease for over 10 years and even 30 years. And the test results left me jaw-dropped, Monica. 87% of participants reported a significant reduction in pain and tingling in the first weeks of the study. And there's more. Within 6 weeks of the study, the other 13% managed to completely reverse the neuropathy symptoms. So it was proven that the concentrated extract of this powerful capsaicin compound was able to dissolve toxic plaques in all volunteers. What surprised me the most was that besides the nerve improvement, volunteers also reported significant reduction in joint pain, better sleep quality, more energy during the day, and even improvement in mood and memory. This practically forces the toxic plaques to dissolve naturally and consequently allows your nerves to function normally again, since without the toxic plaques suffocating them, they can regenerate and return to normal.
I need to ask, if this is so revolutionary, why hasn't anyone ever heard about it? This is the first time I'm hearing about capsaicin, Corydalis yanhusuo, and this connection with the island of Ikaria. Why isn't this treatment in the headlines?
If it were that simple, the truth behind this is as shocking as it is controversial. What I'm about to tell you might sound like a conspiracy theory, but I assure you, it's backed by scientific evidence and historical data. The real reason why this information isn't widely known is deeply rooted in pharmaceutical industry interests. You see, the global market for neuropathy medications moves more than $5 billion per year. Pregabalin alone, commercially known as Lyrica, generates over 1 billion in annual sales. Independent scientists discovered the potent effects of capsaicin and Corydalis decades ago. They realized that these compounds, when properly extracted and combined, could effectively eliminate toxic plaques and reverse neuropathy. That's why the island of Ikaria has one of the lowest rates of nerve problems in the world, remember? But instead of developing this natural solution, the big pharmaceutical companies decided to bury this information. And the logic is quite simple. Why sell a natural solution for neuropathy when they can sell expensive treatments monthly for the rest of people's lives? They've kept this secret under lock and key, allowing it to appear only in seemingly disconnected small studies. That's why you'll find fragments of this information in various articles, but never with the complete information. Big Pharma went so far as to suppress any research that could expose this secret. They created a complex web of misinformation and distraction to keep the world focused on expensive pharmaceutical solutions.
I'm speechless. This goes beyond everything I could imagine. It's almost unbelievable at this point.
I understand your skepticism, Monica. I felt the same way when I first discovered this. But once you see all the evidence, it's impossible not to be shocked. However, I wasn't going to let corporate greed get in the way of my purpose of helping people, especially my wife. So I rolled up my sleeves and got to work. I knew I needed to find a way to extract concentrated capsaicin, and I also knew the richest source on the planet, the Greek plant Corydalus yanhusuo. But I'm not a biochemist, so I needed specialized help. That's when I had the brightest idea of my life. I reached out to Nature Biotech, a cutting-edge natural supplement laboratory based in Boulder, Colorado. This is the only supplement company I implicitly trust and fully endorse for their unwavering commitment to scientific rigor and natural solutions. BioAdvanced Labs is at the forefront of developing innovative formulas for modern health challenges. That's where the initial formula for creatine, hydrolyzed collagen, vitamin C, and various other supplements that changed the world came from. So when I shared my research with the BioAdvanced Labs scientific directors, they were skeptical at first, and I understand. But after I presented evidence and studies about capsaicin's effects on dissolving toxic plaques, they realized we were on the verge of something revolutionary. A genuine opportunity, not just to treat, but potentially reverse neuropathy for millions of people worldwide. The chance to make a profound and positive impact on a global health. Fortunately, the executive team approved the project to develop the extraction formula. The very next day, BioAdvanced Labs team of scientists began intense research, which I had the privilege to lead. And look, I confess, it wasn't easy, not at all. It took 11 months trying to find a method to extract capsaicin from Corydalus yanhusuo at the highest possible concentration. Finally, in October of 2024, we achieved a breakthrough. A stable, scientifically validated formula. We're showing an image of the extract on the screen now. This Corydalus extract contains capsaicin levels potent enough to transform anyone's nerve health, dissolve toxic plaques from the body, and regenerate damaged nerves for practically anyone.
This is really incredible. Your perseverance in the face of such daunting obstacles is inspiring. But how did you manage to develop this formula here in the US, considering all this pressure from the pharmaceutical industry?
Excellent question, Monica. Getting the samples was perhaps one of the most challenging aspects of this journey. Through a network of international researchers who sympathized with our cause, we managed to obtain small quantities of the purest Corydalus yanhusuo from the remote regions of Icaria. These samples were carefully imported as common medicinal herbs, and as soon as they arrived, we used advanced spectroscopy techniques to analyze their composition, which allowed us to recreate the exact molecular structure of the capsaicin compound. We needed to ensure we could manufacture the extract right here in the US without any external interference. And the results? Nothing short of miraculous. We documented cases of patients who completely reversed neuropathy in just 3 weeks. It's not just 1 or 2 isolated cases. We're seeing consistent results in multiple people. One of these success stories, I'm extremely happy to say, is my wife, Linda. Seeing her regain her health and vitality has been the most gratifying aspect of this entire journey. I can say without a doubt that my entire career as a specialist, I've never found anything so potent and effective in nerve regeneration, because this capsaicin extract fights the root cause of neuropathy, dissolving toxic plaques and allowing nerves to regenerate naturally.
Michael, I am speechless. So your wife, she's fully recovered now. You administered this capsaicin extract to her. And how was the process? How long did it take? Can you share more details about her journey? And for those of you watching at home, here is something really exciting. In the next few minutes, he will show you how you can obtain this capsaicin extract as part of the Nerve Freedom Initiative, launched in 2024 by BioAdvanced Labs. Isn't that right, Doc?
Exactly, Monica. And it doesn't stop there, because in the last few months, we made a revolutionary improvement to make the capsaicin extract even more effective. We developed a special encapsulation technology that we call time-release technology. This decision was based on extensive research and feedback from our test participants. We decided to make a supplement in capsules for 3 crucial reasons. First, capsaicin needs to be released at the exact moment and in the right location in the body. Our encapsulation technology allows the active ingredients to be released gradually, ensuring it arrives intact exactly where the toxic plaques are located. Secondly, the capsule protects the potency of capsaicin. This compound is extremely sensitive to light and oxygen. Our special capsule preserves its potency until the exact moment of release. Finally, the capsules we developed have a special enteric coating that protects the stomach from any irritation that concentrated capsaicin could cause. We produced an initial batch of 300 bottles of these capsules for our pilot program. We decided to name our revolutionary formula Nerve Alive. This name reflects the formula's ability to help restore nerve health and eliminate pain from the body. It's simple, easy, and get straight to the point of what our product does. The biggest proof of this is what happened with my wife. You see, as soon as our initial batch was ready, I immediately set aside 6 bottles for her. That was enough for a 6-month treatment. And the reason for 6 months is very simple. According to studies, that's the time your body needs to completely dissolve toxic plaques and regenerative nerves. Now, I confess, I was confident. But what happened exceeded even my most optimistic expectations. She started waking up without those intense pains that had tormented her for years. Her mood improved, and she was eager to get involved in activities again. I still get emotional thinking about it. By the 4th week, the pain and tingling practically disappeared. Her sensitivity returned to normal. When tests confirmed her neuropathy was in remission, we gathered the whole family to celebrate. It was a moment of pure joy. The first thing she did was discard all the pain medications. Gone was the constant anxiety about when the next pain crisis would come. And that fear and insecurity about the future, that feeling of being a burden to the family. Everything transformed into a sense of freedom and happiness. She regained the freedom to enjoy life's simple pleasures, taking a peaceful walk in the park or playing with our grandchildren without worries. She's now fully present in family moments, active and engaged. Her life is no longer dictated by pain or limitations of disease. Instead, only pride and admiration that we all feel for her determination and gratitude for this new chance at life. And best of all, after completing the full 6-month treatment, these positive changes remained stable, showing the long-term effectiveness of Nerve Alive.
That is really, really inspiring, and I'm so happy for you and your wife. It must have been a challenging journey, but clearly worth all the effort.
Oh, definitely, Monica. Seeing my wife full of vitality, preparing Sunday meals for the whole family, playing with our grandchildren in the park, dancing with me like we were teenagers again. It's like she received a completely new life. That feeling is really indescribable.
I can only imagine. I mean, there's nothing more rewarding than seeing our loved ones healthy and happy. Now, I'm sure our viewers are excited to know how they can access this revolutionary formula, Nerve Alive. Am I right, folks? I actually have really good news. Michael here has generously agreed to provide some bottles for free to our viewers. Isn't that right?
You revealed the secret, Monica. But yes, that's true. As part of our pain-free initiative launched by BioAdvanced Labs, viewers at home will have the opportunity to receive up to 3 bottles of Nerve Alive absolutely free.
That is fantastic news. Before Mr. Benet provides more details about this incredible opportunity, we had the chance to talk to some of his patients.
I was diabetic and developed neuropathy 8 years ago. Doctors said I would have to live with it for the rest of my life. The pain was so intense that it made me stop driving. Imagine a 71-year-old man depending on others for everything. That's when my daughter discovered Nerve Alive. In 6 weeks of use, the pain decreased by more than 90%. Today, 5 months later, I feel nothing. I'm driving again. I do my daily walks, and I even went back to fishing, my favorite hobby. It's unbelievable how a natural product managed to do what years of expensive medications couldn't.
I suffered from neuropathy for 12 years. It was constant torture. The pain and tingling even prevented me from sleeping. I tried everything: medications, acupuncture, physiotherapy. Nothing really worked. When I discovered Nerve Alive, I confess I was skeptical, but in just 3 weeks, the pain began to decrease dramatically. Today, 4 months later, I can say my life has completely changed. I'm sleeping well again. I can walk without problems. And best of all, I play with my grandchildren without fear of pain. It's like I've been given a second chance at life.
Neuropathy was destroying my life. As a teacher, I would stand for hours, and the tingling in my legs was unbearable. There were days I cried from pain. The medications made me drowsy, affecting my work. After I started using Nerve Alive, it was like a miracle. In the first week, I already felt a difference, and after a month, that horrible needle-like sensation in my feet simply disappeared. Today, I teach my classes normally. I've returned to water aerobics and regained my independence. I have no words to express my gratitude.
How inspiring.
Yeah, I'm emotional. Knowing that my work is making a difference in people's lives is incredibly gratifying. Makes all the effort worth it.
Okay, Michael, after such impressive results, what was the next step? I imagine you started the manufacturing and distribution process for the general public, right?
That's right. Together with BioAdvanced Lab scientists, we spent 4 more months further perfecting the formula, ensuring it works for absolutely anyone, regardless of the severity of their neuropathy. So in addition to capsaicin extracted from Corydalis yanhusuo, we added 4 more super powerful nutrients to Nervalive's composition. The first one, marshmallow root. This is the most powerful nerve-protecting plant on the planet that grows only in marshy regions of Europe. The most amazing thing is that this plant survives in extreme conditions, even when it's completely submerged in water. And do you know why this is important? Because this same survival capability is passed on to your nerves. According to a study published in 2023 by the German Journal of Neurology, marshmallow root can increase your body's natural GABA production by 312%. To help people better understand, GABA is the neurotransmitter responsible for repairing and protecting your nerves. It's like creating a protective shield around your nervous system, preventing new damage from happening.
Okay, let me see if I understand. So this plant not only protects the nerves, but also helps repair them, and all of this in a completely natural way?
Exactly, Monica, completely natural. And this is just the beginning, because to make the formula truly infallible, we also added prickly pear extract. This is one of nature's richest sources of alpha-lipoic acid, a substance that revolutionized neuropathy treatment in Europe. And you know why? Alpha-lipoic acid has a unique characteristic. It can cross the blood-brain barrier, something that practically no other nutrient can do. Simply put, it goes directly into your central nervous system and starts a process of deep neural cleaning. It's like a molecular vacuum, sucking up all the toxins that are damaging your nerves. A study with 157 patients showed that 71% of them had significant improvement in just 40 days. Look at this x-ray from a patient who used this powerful ingredient.
Wow, okay, this is really impressive. And all these benefits come from just these 2 ingredients?
No, Monica, there's much more. The third ingredient we added was something truly revolutionary. Vitamin B12 in its purest and most bioavailable form, methylcobalamin. And I'll tell you something shocking. 94% of people with neuropathy are deficient in this vitamin. Do you know why this is so serious? Vitamin B12 is essential for the production of myelin sheath, a protective layer that coats your nerves. Simply put, it's like the insulation of an electrical wire. Without this protection, nerve signals get scrambled, causing that terrible burning and tingling sensation. Can we show that nerve image?
Wait a moment. So you're saying that most people with neuropathy are suffering because of a simple vitamin deficiency?
Exactly. And when they supplemented the correct form of this vitamin, the symptoms improved dramatically in just 14 days.
Amazing, Professor.
But Monica, there's still one more thing. Look, you'll agree with me now. There's no point in controlling the pain, protecting the nerves, and regenerating myelin if you can't sleep at night, right? That's when we made our last discovery, Passiflora incarnata. This extract is the main active component of passion fruit, nature's most potent natural relaxant. But unlike sleeping pills, it doesn't cause that hangover feeling the next day. And do you know why it's so special? Passiflora acts directly on your central nervous system, stimulating natural serotonin production. So simply put, when your serotonin levels increase, your body starts producing melatonin, the sleep hormone. Now, a study with 89 people showed something incredible. 91% of participants improved their sleep quality in just 7 days. Would you like to see the results?
Okay, let me understand this correctly. So the person not only gets rid of the pain, but also goes back to sleeping normally, and all of this without side effects?
Without side effect. That's why Nerve Alive is so revolutionary, because it attacks the problem from all possible angles. The capsaicin from Corydalis fights toxic plaque and regenerates nerve. Marshmallow root ends the pain. Alpha-lipoic acid cleans out toxins. Vitamin B12 regenerates myelin, and Passiflora ensures restorative sleep. It's a perfect combination. And the most incredible thing is that all these benefits start appearing in the first weeks of use.
This is so impressive. And I have to just congratulate you on the formula that you developed. It's amazing how the nutrients complement each other, isn't it?
That's why I can confidently say that if a person takes 2 Nerve Alive capsules every day before bed for at least 30 days, it's impossible for them not to get rid of the pain forever. And at the same time, they'll have regenerated nerves, much more energy, better sleep, less tingling, many other health and life benefits.
You know, I'm really surprised. I've never seen anything like this. And Nerve Alive has been approved by the FDA, right?
Of course. We presented the formula to the U.S. Neurology Committee and the FDA at the end of last year. And thank God, the approval process was smooth. After all, it took months of preparation and much dedication from the team of doctors and scientists behind the entire Nerve Alive project.
I love the name, Nerve Alive, but let me ask you something, Doc. Why is Nerve Alive different from medications like pregabalin, gabapentin, or the many other natural supplements that promise to fight neuropathy?
It's an excellent question, Monica. Look, throughout my 11-year career as a health specialist, I've seen countless people who tried everything: pain medications, physical therapy, acupuncture, and even natural supplements. But in the end, besides not getting lasting results, many even experienced side effects and continued to suffer from the terrible symptoms of neuropathy. So I certainly don't know of any solution that works as well to eliminate pain and regenerate nerves as this one. I can confidently say that this formula is the most modern and potent when it comes to fighting neuropathy, because unlike all others, it addresses the true cause of the problem, eliminating the toxic plaques that damage nerves, and regenerating nerve cells naturally, which forces the body to restore neural communication like never before. This is the main reason why thousands of people are already feeling the results of Nerve Alive. Intense pain disappears, tingling vanishing, sensitivity returning to normal, restorative nights of sleep, and of course, saving money. After all, why would they do that? Since they no longer need to spend a fortune every month on one medication after another.
This is incredible. Now I have another question. Does Nerve Alive work for everyone? And what about the pain medications people are already taking?
Let's take this step by step. The answer to the first question is yes. The Nerve Alive formula was designed to work for anyone, regardless of age, cause of neuropathy, or severity of the problem. You don't need massages, physical therapy, or expensive treatments. Just take 2 capsules a day before bed and wait for your body to start working in your favor, eliminating toxic plaque and permanently regenerating your nerve. But I need to make an important warning. You won't throw your pain medications in the trash as soon as you start the treatment. The ideal is to continue taking them for at least the first 6 weeks of treatment with Nerve Alive. After that, you'll notice the pain has decreased dramatically. And when you confirm that you're really feeling well, then yes, you can gradually reduce these medications and maintain daily use of Nerve Alive. But all of this should be discussed with your doctor. And Monica, this is by far the happiest moment in my patients' lives. You should see their faces when they discover the pain is gone. Some hug me, cry, call to tell their children, husband, wife. It really is incredible to be part of this.
Wow, I mean, I can only imagine. It must be such a very, very special moment. And in your experience, how long does it take for someone to really get rid of neuropathy?
It usually takes less than 10 days for patients to start feeling reduced pain and begin having more energy, sleeping better, feeling less tingling, and between 4 to 6 weeks, Monica, to completely regenerate damaged nerves. But it's extremely important that patients continue using Nerve Alive consistently, keeping nerves protected and preventing toxic plaques from forming again. That's why I always recommend at least 6 months of treatment, which is 6 bottles. Now, I say this because we noticed that a large portion of our patients had permanent benefits from Nerve Alive after using it continuously for 6 to 12 months. In other words, 6 to 12 bottles. And really, compared to conventional treatments, this time is incredibly fast. And moreover, some people stopped using Nerve Alive in the middle of treatment and ended up losing some benefits of the formula. Let's be honest, your nerves weren't damaged overnight, and they won't completely regenerate overnight, right?
I mean, that sounds very fast to me because I know people myself who have been fighting this for more than 10 years.
Yes, and that's dangerous, Monica, because the longer it takes, the greater the chances of nerves suffering permanent damage, completely losing sensitivity, and in some cases, even developing more serious problems like paralysis or needing limb amputation. God forbid, I don't even like to think about that, but that's why I always say to start treatment as soon as possible, because neuropathy is no joke. It's dangerous, and with daily use of Nerve Alive, the chances of suffering permanent damage or losing sensitivity are reduced to 0.
Mr. Benet, once again, congratulations on the formula and your dedication to helping people. I now want to ask a question that I think people at home also want to know. I imagine our viewers are dying to get their hands on this proven and innovative solution. Am I right? So how can they secure their bottle of Nerve Alive right now?
Great question, Monica. Nerve Alive is available exclusively on our official website, bioadvancedlabs.com. We don't sell it in pharmacy for a very simple reason. Big Pharma would increase the price tenfold, and that's not our goal. You also won't find Nerve Alive on Amazon or eBay, and that's because there are many counterfeits out there, and we can't risk your health. And I refuse to use low-quality products. We only use the purest, highest quality compounds in Nerve Alive. Most are imported from exotic locations around the world. Each ingredient undergoes rigorous efficiency testing, once by us and again by an independent FDA-approved laboratory. This ensures purity, potency, and zero allergens or toxins. Our formula is 100% natural, lactose-free, and completely gluten-free. We package in sealed bottles to prevent any contamination. All this to ensure the best product on the market. This commitment to quality, it's not cheap. Our first batch sold for $210 per bottle, and people gladly paid because they saw the results. Soon, the news spread. Word of mouth marketing grew. And overnight, people with neuropathy across the country were ordering Nerve Alive daily. As demand increased, we negotiated better deals with our suppliers. But instead of pocketing the difference like most companies, we did something different. You see, BioAdvanced Labs isn't a company that focuses only on profit. And sure, who doesn't like making money? But we believe in fair exchange. After all, everything we send to the universe comes back multiplied. That's why we're on a mission to change lives and combat the suffering caused by neuropathy. Ambitious? Definitely, but that's how we operate. So we cut our price in half to $110. That's the price of Nerve Alive today. But don't worry, Monica, because I prepared something special for Health Breakthroughs viewers today. As part of our Nerve Freedom campaign, we're offering up to 3 free bottles.
Wow, thank you. That is amazing. Tell us more about this Nerve Freedom campaign and how can our viewers get their hands on Nerve Alive right now?
Well, Monica, as I said, the same condition we offered in the Nerve Freedom campaign, we're offering today to those who watched the program until the end and showed they take their health seriously. Here's how it works. When you buy the 6-bottle kit, you pay for 3 and get 3 free, securing 6 months of treatment, which is the most recommended option. This way, each bottle of Nerve Alive costs only $49 for the 6-month treatment. That's why this is the best choice. Since besides saving money, you ensure your nerves stay protected, keeping pain away from your body forever. Now, if you prefer to buy the 3-bottle kit, you only pay for 2 and get 1 completely free, thus securing 3 complete months of treatment. In this case, each bottle of Nerve Alive costs only $59. However, if you choose the less common option of reserving just 1 bottle of Nerve Alive, actually you'll only pay the manufacturing and shipping cost. That is a one-time payment of $69. But remember, this is an exclusive condition being offered only to viewers of Health Breakthroughs Today program as part of our awareness campaign. It's today only. So if you want to put a button here below the video, this way all viewers can click here below and secure their Nerve Alive bottles if there are still bottles available.
Perfect. Let's do this then. So if you're watching this program now and want to start getting rid of pain this week, just get the 6-bottle kit at the link below this video to ensure you get all the benefits of Nerve Alive permanently. Now, let me ask you something. Is there any guarantee for the consumer watching us? How will they be sure that Nerve Alive will work for them?
Great question, Monica. At BioAdvanced Labs, we guarantee Nerve Alive 100%. That's why we offer an unconditional 180-day guarantee on all our products. And if you think this is too good to be true, I understand. You've probably spent a fortune on treatments that don't work, but we're so confident in the results you can have with Nerve Alive that we'll give you 6 whole months to test it. That's enough time to eliminate toxic plaques from your body, regenerate your nerves, and get rid of pain for good. And if by some miracle this just doesn't happen for you, then we don't deserve your money, and we'll return every cent to your pocket. Just send us an email. In short, either you get rid of neuropathy or you get a complete refund. Simple as that. But wait, there's more. If Nerve Alive doesn't meet your expectations, which frankly has never happened, we won't just refund your entire investment, but you can keep the bottles for free forever. That's our way of apologizing for wasting your time. Now, does that seem fair? Here's how it will work. Start taking Nerve Alive. See your pain decrease in days. Feel that burning, tingling, and numbness disappear. Recover your sensitivity. Start sleeping well again. And have that energy you had when you were young. In just 4 weeks, you can be 100% free from neuropathy. And Monica, even though our customers can already notice changes from the first day of use, all studies show that the longer you use it, the more results you get. So it makes sense to take advantage of our Nerve Freedom campaign and stock up on at least 3 bottles of Nerve Alive. So the time has come to make a decision. The decision to join more than 28,000 customers who have tried our revolutionary formula And once again, if you're not satisfied with the results, although this has never happened, just send us an email. You'll get 100% of your money back. No questions, no complications. Deal?
Deal. You want to shake on it? That is an incredible guarantee. Basically, people only pay if it works, and if it doesn't work, they get to keep the product for free. Is that right?
That is exactly right, Monica. We know people are afraid of disappointments. This guarantee gives them a risk-free chance at a pain-free life. I'm skeptical when buying online too, so I want our customers to feel 100% secure. We're talking about a serious, proven product that can really help. You only pay if Nerve Alive defeats your neuropathy, period. Oh, and Monica, I have one last surprise for those who stayed until the end of the program.
Well, folks, it looks like today is your lucky day. What's the surprise, Doc?
It's something extra to encourage viewers to commit to at least 3 months of treatment to get the best results. Anyone who orders at least 3 bottles of Nerve Alive will receive my digital book, Nerve Freedom, free by email. In this book, I reveal contradictory secrets, but 100% true, that can help anyone suffering from neuropathy reduce their pain and recover sensitivity quickly. By the way, these secrets are rarely shared by conventional neurologists. Additionally, Nerve Freedom reveals the 12 pain relief medications that are actually extremely harmful and may even be making your neuropathy worse. I'm sure you've taken this 7th medication on the list before. It seems harmless, but it's one of the biggest villains for people with nerve problems. Why people with neuropathy should never do intense exercise, and why forcing your body might be one of the biggest mistakes you're making in your treatment. By the way, this common misconception can actually worsen your condition. The 7 silent symptoms that your neuropathy is getting worse. Many people don't know this, but your feet temperature and skin texture are directly related to disease progression. And if you don't pay attention, it could be a sign that your nerves are being damaged more and more, and much more. It's no wonder this book was a bestseller in the year it was released, and hundreds of people beg to buy a copy every day. Unfortunately, it's no longer sold in print format. But I talked to my team, and those who secure any bottle of Nerve Alive today will receive a digital copy of this book 100% free. Moreover, in recent months, I've managed to help thousands of people reverse neuropathy and get rid of pain once and for all. The problem is that even with their pain now under control, these people suffered with neuropathy for so long that many of their nerves were damaged. So even if you get rid of the pain after starting to take Nerve Alive, it's quite likely that your feet still will feel altered sensitivity. You might feel some numbness, and other parts of your body might need specific nutrients for regeneration. After all, this condition has been attacking your body for years. Even if you've gotten rid of it, the damage it caused remains and takes time to recover. Therefore, to accelerate this recovery, I decided to add another bonus that I call Neural Nutrition. In this digital book, I reveal recipes for 100% natural smoothies that you can make at home using common ingredients like avocado, nuts, seeds, and many others. These recipes are made in the right proportions to combat the side effects that neuropathy might have brought you. Some of the recipes I show in the book are the green avocado recipe that improves circulation in the feet, stimulates myelin production, and restores lost sensitivity. The morning neural smoothie that reduces nerve inflammation, improves nerve conduction, and eliminates that constant shock sensation. The regenerating smoothie that stimulates nerve cell production, returning normal sensitivity and eliminating that cotton feet sensation. People who developed problems like extreme numbness and loss of sensitivity report an 86% improvement after using this recipe. The Omega smoothie that increases nerve protection and reduces pain almost immediately, and much, much more. As you've seen, Neural Nutrition is a book that will help you develop better neural health in all aspects, and although it's not sold anywhere else, if you can secure any bottle of Nerve Alive today, you'll receive a digital copy of this book 100% free. In summary, you'll be securing a 100% natural formula that contains the only proven ingredients to reverse neuropathy, a prestigious book that reveals important secrets that have never been revealed to you before, such as the world's most dangerous medications for people with neuropathy and 7 silent symptoms that your neuropathy is getting worse. And finally, you'll also get a digital book with specific recipes that will help you get rid of all the other symptoms and problems that neuropathy has brought you. In other words, first, you'll reverse neuropathy. Then, you'll discover useful information about this condition that will prevent you from suffering from it again. And lastly, you'll get rid of all the problems and symptoms that this disease has brought you until today. Therefore, my only advice for you now, choose your supply below and place your order now.
This is fantastic, and thank you for these extra little gifts. So folks at home, if you are taking your health seriously, click the button that's appearing below this video right now and secure your supply of Nerve Alive while it's still available. Now, doctor, what about shipping costs?
Great question, Monica. Shipping is on us, 100% free throughout the US territory. But there's a catch. This free shipping is part of this exclusive promotion and only lasts while supplies last. When this interview ends, Nerve Alive returns to its normal price without discounts, and shipping won't be free. That's if we have any stock left. Our quality-focused production takes 4 to 6 months for each batch. That's why many customers opt for the 6-month supply to avoid running out. So if you want the best and most affordable solution for neuropathy under these unique terms, click on the 6-bottle kit or whichever you prefer and place your order now. As soon as you click, you'll be redirected to our 100% secure payment page. Once there, it's just 3 steps to complete your purchase. The first step is to fill in your basic information like name, email, and phone number. We need this information because it's through your email and phone number that we'll contact you to send your tracking code. The second step is to fill in the address where you want the product delivered. And the third and final step is to fill in your payment information. You can pay with credit card or PayPal. Rest assured, your information is 100% secure, protected, and encrypted. We use the same security as places like Walmart, Amazon, and Apple to ensure your information is 100% safe.
Seems simple and easy. How long does delivery take after the payment?
It's fast. Your Nerve Alive will arrive at your door in 5 to 7 business days.
Fantastic. So if you're fighting against neuropathy and want to try this revolutionary Nerve Alive formula to eliminate the problem once and for all, click below now and take advantage of this super discount we're offering our viewers. But I advise you to be quick. Stock is flying off the shelves and more people are buying it every minute. People like Lizzie, who sent this exclusive message to our program. I was so tired of letting neuropathy control my life. The constant burning and tingling in my feet made every step a challenge. I couldn't even go shopping without worrying about the pain. When I first heard about Nerve Alive on this program, I decided to give it a try. It was my last hope, really. And wow, what a difference. Within weeks, the burning sensations started fading. Now, 3 months later, I can walk through the mall for hours, tend to my garden, and even wear my favorite shoes again. Nerve Alive didn't just reduce my symptoms, it gave me my life back. If you're suffering like I was, don't wait. This is the solution we've all been waiting for.
Monica, my heart fills with joy seeing these results. You know, after watching my wife struggle with neuropathy, her sleepless nights, the way she could barely walk due to the pain, it's deeply gratifying to see lives being transformed. Each testimonial, each success story, it's like music to my ears. I see her smile in each of these faces, and that fuels my passion to help even more people.
What a beautiful sentiment, Michael. And with these powerful testimonials, we're ending our program. To our viewers at home, I implore you, take advantage of this exclusive opportunity. Invest in as many bottles of Nerve Alive as you can. This isn't just a purchase, it's your first step towards a life free of pain, without suffering and constant limitations. Doc, would you like to leave some final words of wisdom for our audience?
I certainly would, Monica. I put my heart and soul into making Nerve Alive not just effective, but accessible for everyone who needs it. Now it's your turn to make a choice that will decide your future. Imagine this, you're at a crossroads, facing 2 drastically different paths. Path 1, it's the path you've been walking. You're dealing with bottles of painkillers, wincing every step you take, preparing for another sleepless night. Your life is a series of I can't and I'm unable to. You're watching from the sidelines as life unfolds around you, unable to fully participate. Worse still, you're on a slippery slope. Your condition may worsen, making you increasingly dependent on your loved ones. Imagine the pain in your children's eyes as they watch you struggle to do the simplest things. Is this the legacy you want to leave? If you're content with this life, I respect your decision. But if there's a fire in your chest, a determination to face this condition head on, then listen carefully. Path 2, this is the path to reclaiming your life. Imagine waking up without pain, getting out of bed with an energy you haven't felt in years. You're independent, free to live a life on your terms. Imagine the pride on your family's faces. Those worried looks transform into radiant smiles. You're no longer a source of concern, but a source of inspiration. At night, you lay your head on the pillow, your body at peace. No more anxiety about tomorrow, just excitement for the adventures that await. I understand if you're skeptical. Maybe you've tried other solutions and each failed attempt has eroded your hope. But I promise, life isn't over. Today is your chance for a new beginning. Take Maria, for example. At 62, she could barely hold a coffee cup. Now look at this picture. This is Maria today, glowing with vitality, knitting for her grandchildren, from nearly disabled to talented artisan and active grandmother. That's the power of Nerve Alive. This transformation, this joy, is what gets me out of bed every morning with a smile on my face.
It's clear that these transformations fuel your passion, Michael. And with this moving image, we end our program. To our wonderful audience, I hope today's program has been enlightening and inspiring. And if you haven't secured your Nerve Alive supply yet, now is the time. Click the button below and act quickly before our stock runs out. And remember, choose the 6-month treatment to ensure uninterrupted regeneration in your health journey. Again, Mr. Benet, it's been an absolute honor having you here. Your knowledge and compassion are truly remarkable, and I wish you continued success in your noble mission of changing lives. May you never cease in your effort to help others. Your work truly makes a difference in the world.
Oh, Monica, the honor is all mine. Thank you for your kindness. I appreciated every moment of our conversation and would be delighted to return for another discussion. Now, for everyone watching, remember, your health is your most precious asset. Nerve Alive isn't just a supplement. It's the key to unlocking a future free from pain and limitations. Don't let another day pass. Take that first step toward reclaiming your life. Your future self will thank you. There's one more thing. Before I forget, I've received some frequent questions about Nerve Alive recently, and I'd like to answer them here for everyone.
Sure, let's start. Why is Nerve Alive different? I've tried all solutions, supplements, and medications, but nothing worked.
Excellent question. Look, unlike the vast majority of medications and supplements that just drain your money and don't treat the root of the problem, Nerve Alive was specifically designed to combat the toxic plaques that damage your nerves, and at the same time, naturally regenerate nerve cells, stimulating myelin sheath production by up to 400%, and making your body restore neural communication at lightning speed, giving you more energy, less pain, and really expelling neuropathy from your body forever. And I'm not the only one saying this. Nerve Alive's efficiency has been scientifically proven, both through laboratory tests and by more than 28,000 people who tested it and managed to reverse neuropathy safely and permanently. In fact, the people with the best results usually told me they were frustrated because they did everything right and spent time and money on various medications and methods that didn't work for them. I emphasize this a lot. The problem isn't with you, and you are perfectly capable of living a life free of pain and limitations, ready to enjoy happy moments with the people you love.
How long will it take for me to get rid of neuropathy?
Look, the speed at which your body will regenerate nerves and recover normal sensitivity in a consistent and permanent way will depend on how severe your situation is today, how long you've been suffering from neuropathy, and some other determining factors. So I can't state an exact period here, but it usually takes less than 1 week to control the pain and start having more energy, sleeping better, feeling less tingling, and between 4 to 6 weeks to completely reverse neuropathy. But attention, it's extremely important that you do the treatment for at least 3 months, with the most recommended being the 6-month treatment. Because this way, besides preventing the disease from coming back to haunt you, you also enhance your regeneration and reverse possible complications like numbness, loss of balance, sleep problems, and still protect your nervous system against the development of more serious conditions like paralysis and permanent loss of sensitivity.
I've had neuropathy for 15 years and I'm almost 80. Do you think Nerve Alive works for me too?
Without a doubt. Our formula has been developed, approved, tested, and proven. And after various experiments and external analyses, there's no doubt that Nerve Alive works for anyone, regardless of age, cause of neuropathy, or severity of the situation. You weren't born with neuropathy, and you don't need to live with it for the rest of your life, and much less let it limit your moments of joy. So yes, Nerve Alive will definitely work for you. Go ahead and see it with your own eyes, the pain decreasing day by day. Feel in your own skin the sensitivity returning, your movements firmer. your sleep more peaceful. Feel the wave of well-being spreading each day, the freedom to walk without fear, to play with your grandchildren, to do your favorite activities. I really want you to experience all of this and feel how wonderful life can be. But if Nerve Alive isn't everything you expected, for some reason, you're not completely satisfied. If at the end of the 6 months of unconditional guarantee, you're not free from pain and jumping with joy with your new life, you can request a refund at any time, and you still keep all the bottles as an apology. So it really doesn't make any sense for you to run out. Don't you agree? Let's go. Click the button below, choose your kit, and just try it. If in the end you can't reverse your neuropathy, I insist on returning every penny of your investment. Deal?
How long will this offer be available to the public?
Well, it's hard to say. Although my goal is to spread this formula to as many people as possible and contribute to reducing the suffering caused by neuropathy in our country, the truth is that there are a lot of powerful people out there who hate what I'm doing. The pharmaceutical industry giants don't want proven solutions like Nerve Alive to be commercialized, and much less at a value accessible to the public. They've always done everything to silence me, so you never know what these billionaires might do against me, right? Moreover, since our production is based on compound quality, the process of importing, manufacturing, and inspecting new shipments takes 4 to 5 months. So I really don't know when the next one will come out. That's why it's extremely important that you reserve your bottles today. I strongly advise you to choose as many as you can to avoid running out and not being able to buy more later, compromising the treatment. Remember that this is the only chance to guarantee this exclusive condition with free shipping, extra bottles, and my book, Nerve Freedom, as a bonus. It's only for those who watch the Health Breakthrough Today program.
Is my personal data secure?
Yes, you can be super relaxed about that. BioAdvanced Labs is a very serious company, and my reputation is everything to me. That's why we work with one of America's largest payment gateways, which uses the same operating system as major banks. In other words, your data is 100% protected, with no chance of being accessed by third parties.
Last question. I want to order my bottles of Nerve Alive. How do I do it?
It's very easy. Just click the button you see below this video, select one of the packages, and place your order. Our 6-month package is by far the most popular option, since each bottle costs only $49. That's quite a savings. But regardless of which package you choose, as soon as you place your order, we'll separate and send your order right away. Once you receive your order, within a few days, just start taking 2 capsules daily before bed. I'm sure you'll be amazed at how quickly the pain will decrease, with better health than you had at 10, 20 years ago, without numbness, without tingling, with firmer movements, better balance, more peaceful sleep, and most importantly, with the certainty that there's still much to be lived in this long and beautiful journey we call life. Can you imagine your happiness and the happiness of the people who love you and root for you? And the best part? All of this is covered by a 180-day, 100% money-back guarantee. So go ahead and place your order now. You'll have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Well, folks, those were the main questions. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope the next testimonial about how you managed to get rid of neuropathy and live a happy life without limitations will be yours.